the background that I might switch on and off of doing, but it'll be okay. We're almost finished with that, but it's still doing its thing. So we will still be doing this, okay? And we're doing everything. What? It shouldn't be doing any music. Oh wait, never mind, it's that. Oops. Okay, we're doing that. So here we are, we're continuing what we were doing. Continue. We're doing a celebration with a renewed spring in your step. You led the way out of your bedroom. You got downstairs to find others that already assembled and waiting. Hello. Hey. Hey. Good to see you both. Hi, here we are, trying to crawl everyone into your group. The two of you were already upstairs the whole time. Hey, Dad. We had some stuff to talk about. Yeah. But we made it, so what's the plan? How about cards? There was a murmur of interest from the other. It was fine with you. Okay, so most of the group was eager to play, but Mr. Holden was demurring. I think I'll shoot this rain out. What's the fun in that? What's the fun in that? Join in. Yes, I know there's a lot of people, but we can make it work. Mr. Holden shrunk into himself, embarrassed by their attention. Dad, you love playing cards. We do it all the time at our house. Yeah, remember the time I played over there? There was serious games. We made bets with real money and everything. Dad? Mr. Holden broke under the combined forces of everyone's attention. Groves and Justin, you are adults now. You deserve to know the truth. Oh shit, what's going on? I used to throw card games so you could win. I put up a good fight, but I always make sure to lose a lot more rounds than I won. He twirled that with the end of his ponytail, clearly distressed at revealing a bit of this info. He did have a history of bad surprises. He is addicted to gambling. That may have been why. I know people want to be taken seriously, and fake wins don't mean as much, but I couldn't help myself. It's so much better when everyone else gets a chance to be victorious. Karen knew and went along with it. Called on him and he's like, I'm gonna take you down. I mean, take you down. Cove laughed in disbelief that this thing his dad stressed about hiding after the other stunts he pulled over the years. So what? Lots of parents do. I hadn't guessed it, sure. Though looking back, it does make sense. That's right. What a big deal, Cliff. You can finally take the kids' gloves off and give them a run for their money. Mr. Horner smiled coyly, his gaze lowering. I'm not sure that's a good idea. And why not? And why not? He waved his hand expansively, the movements fluid and vague. It just actually, I am something of a card shark. I used to make a lot of fast cash off these games. Casual players don't have a shot unless it's a game of pure luck. Cliff's jaw hung open, his wide eyes fixed on his father. Really? There was a lot of amazement and admiration and bestowed among the shock. Those other members of the Haas family exchanged looks, ranging from Liz's disbelief, and Mom's intrigue, with Mom somewhere in the middle in between those two. You can't simply make a claim like that and expect us to go along with it. Let's see you back it up, shark man. Mr. Holden gave her a quick smile, and demureness quickly replaced with the confidence of someone very skilled and very misguided. You sure about that? Definitely. We gotta see this so-called non-casual player in action. Well, I might be able to. Never knows. Maybe I got rusty. His coyness continued to rile up the gang up, and he was gonna kick a bit. He wants the attention. Okay. Come on, please. Alright. I can stop the old trick. Great. Cliff beamed at his father while Mom clapped Mr. Holden on the back. Liz started off to get the deck of cards while the rest of you settled in for the game. Hands were dealt. Mr. Holden wasted no time proving his words true, wiping the floor with all of you. You played several rounds, even switching games, but none of you were a match for him. That's how the alliance came to be forged. The rest of you joined forces against Mr. Holden only, just to try to increase the odds of beating him. With your combined efforts, you pulled a few victories, yet it was still a challenge. He was clearly a professional. If these were his skills now, resting with disuse, you couldn't even imagine what deadly opponent he had been in the past. Despite that, you still had fun. Working cooperatively actually fostered a sense of camaraderie, and with the others. Mr. Holden didn't appear fazed by this strategy. You actually wondered whether, with the increased challenge, made it more interesting for him. You spent the rest of the afternoon together with your family and the Holden, having fun. It was an interesting evening with that many discovery for everyone. It was freeing, but yet simultaneously you felt more tied together than you had been before. Shave. Let's shave. I don't know. Okay. Okay. From the moment you woke up, you knew today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting the biggest farmers market in the area. It was only open 2 weekends in a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your mom liked to make the most of everything. And you realized, not just for them feeling that way, when you heard a whistle from your left side. Ah, Mr. Holden. I wonder if you said like any guy you liked and it was Mr. Holden, what would have happened? Well, this strange show. Vegetables have never seemed so highbrow. Seriously, they don't mess around with their products. Isn't it exciting? I love her. The one on the left. She's so cute when old too. Liz crossed her arm. You could tell she was amused. You couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we had a true family outing. Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next door neighbor had joined you this day, and what made it a true family outing? The three parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never change, some jokes never die, and you long accepted that. That kind of like gets me wondering, like, no, never mind. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stalls were set up. These all look like a couple, like they're swingers. Even though the two moms are gay, they might be bisexual. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stalls were set up. You were curious what hidden gems were waiting for you to discover amongst them. Well, I'm ready to get started. I got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Before your mom responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yes, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seemed. It's difficult to visit each one in a single day. How big is this? Is it like 7 miles across? I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there's so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market. Divide and conquer. That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched her mom surprised. No one had considered that was an opinion, but your mom flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with her thought. Though it's a little unfair that there's 4 Haas members and 2 Holdens here. So I'll go with you boys to even out the odds. That's fine with me. Cliff scratched the back of his neck and slowly made Cove stare. They both seemed unconvinced but wasn't sure what to say about it. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours. Then we'll have something to talk about in the end. Father and son optimally nodded. This was an argument they were going to win. Alright, I don't get the point, but I don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Destiny and Ma. Ma clapped their hands together at that. Wonderful! There are the teams ready to go. Sure. Yay. Okay, so that thing's done with, so we can continue. Delighted Mom hooked the arm around you in a little side hug. You grinned. Thank you, Destiny. Taking the lead, Mom walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly. They don't look happy. Come on, boys, we're headed out. Okay. Cove looked at you, Ma, and Liz smiled slightly. He waved. See you later, I guess. Bye. See you later. See. See you in a few hours. Take care, ye chef. At that, Mom picked a direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and the Cove behind her. Grandma sent them off with a big wave. Liz gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Oh dear. Altogether there were 6 of you, and you could already imagine how long it would have taken to get through the fraction of stalls. Smiling, you looked forward to spend some quality time with Mom and Liz. When they were gone, Ma cheerily turned towards you and Liz. She put her hands on her hip. Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. You nodded in agreement. Keen to truly get the trip going, Ma led you both into the busy market. Sometimes passing, browsing, there was only a few stalls you stopped at. You had fun chatting and laughing and pointing out various things to Ma and Liz and vice versa. At one point, Ma suddenly stopped. Suddenly, she put her hand on her belly and gave a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home, like the 2 of you responsibly did. Just need to pee. Yes, Liz, I just have to visit the ladies' room now. Yeah, Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently considered your suggestion. There's no need to worry about me or waste time standing around. Keep shopping. Ma, though actually I might need help finding my way. Could you please come, Lizzie? You and your sister shared a look. Why, of all things? Ma, if anyone should go alone on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour, and you are the parent here. Ma giggled unfazed by the resistance. Meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat up, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Destiny will have a handle doing these kind of errands on her own. This makes good practice. What? Ma hooked an arm around Liz and pulled her along. Have fun, we'll see each other again. Excuse me? They're surprising her or something? What? The word bursting from your lip as Ma and Liz waded off into the crowd, but it was in vain. They were out of sight within moments, and what started as a group outing rapidly became a view entirely on your own. Damn. I'm not sure what the ultimate motives Ma had for pulling this, but that was far. Is it going to be a birthday surprise? Far down in your priority at the moment. You're starting to feel happy again at the idea of doing things at your own pace. You walked off on your own. No need to sit. Resigned to your fate, you picked up where you left off, browsing the stars. One hooked your attention. Ooh, dessert! Oh, the dark chocolate mint. Most stalls were selling various garden-grown food, and this one had a range of homemade fudge. There was even a vegan version of every option. You got closer to the stall. I don't care, I want it. You sidestepped past a few other people, and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. There was a widespread dozens and dozens of delicate square of decent. The owner smiled and approached you to explain their shop. The fudge sold in boxes of 4 pieces. There either can be all the same, all different, or any mix you like. Are you looking to buy anything? Everyone. The whole selection was too good not to share. Get yourself a box. Your mind was already filling with thoughts sticking your teeth into delicious fudge. There's no walking away empty-handed now. And that was all. Yeah, I could use some fudge. I'm glad you came to the right place then. It'll be $10 a piece. What? For yourself, you picked out milk and dark chocolate and white chocolate, cookies and cream. We're selecting everything. Chocolate peanut butter, dark chocolate mint, red velvet. Oh wait, you are already looking forward to eat what your finest selection is. Damn it, I can't get all of them. Damn it. Well, everyone else was definitely going to be happy when you grow up later. Wait a minute. You paid and there was no stopping the large grin going across your face. Pivoting on your heels, you rode back to the center of the path. You pondered for a moment what you should do now. None of the stalls were catching your eyes. Aren't you supposed to get ginger or something? What did grab your attention, however, was the head of familiar seafoam hair sticking above the crowd. You instantly knew it was Cole. Oh no, are they trying to hook us up or something? Stop that. He hadn't noticed you yet, but he was walking in your direction and he held a couple bags tightly. Strange, you couldn't spot your mom or his dad anywhere. They're trying to hook us up. No! Let him go. No! Cole appeared to be doing fine. Closer to the stall. You shuffled closer to the stall, closest to you, hoping the visiting action concealed you. Quietly, you watched him pass by. When Cove was out of sight, you breathed a sigh of relief. You could continue without dealing with anything else. And now you knew which direction not to go in. Not wanting to linger in that area for long, lest you be caught, you walked off down the opposite path. The next stop you decided to make was the one of the largest stalls in the area. It was filled with several types of staple fruit and vegetables. Once a few people finished paying and moved, you got yourself directly in front of the shop. There was many things for you to pick from. But how many things should we do? Okay. Apples. potatoes, lemons, peaches, carrots, strawberry, peppers, cucumbers, spinach, and that was everything. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it into you in a couple bags. Satisfied with your decision, you continued on from there. After ambling along past many similar selections, you spotted something new: homemade jam and local honey. The stall was glittering with quantity glass jars stacked high, each encasing jars various colors. When you got closer, you were surprised there were even more varieties than you thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. You considered the variety on display. Okay. Honey butter, spring wild honey, rhubarb jam, strawberry jam, apricot jam, blueberry jam, raspberry jam, clover honey, and that was all. We have infinite money! You paid and the shop owner started pulling together your order. They carefully packed it in a couple bags with paper. Thank you very much. And that was another stall viewed. Your gaze went up to the sky as you started down your path once more. It had become clearer to you that this was the entire trip is going to be like. No, you felt good about it. You weren't going to let what happened put a damper on your outing. With a spring in your step, you continued through the market. My mom had both texted you during your trip, though only said that they hoped you found some good stuff and they'll see you later. No answers where they went and why, but you continued to wind down your way through the bustling markets until destiny. You heard your name being instantly turned before you even registered who the voice owner was. Shiloh. Probably. By that point, you made eye contact with Cove, who was headed your way. There was no going back. Shit. Hi. Hey, oh, are you by yourself too? We're not dating. They're trying to hook us up. Stop! If you want to be a family, that's fine. But don't make us try to fall in love when we don't feel it. Well, I certainly don't feel it. Hey, are you by yourself too? That clinched it. You hadn't just missed seeing your dad. You just hadn't missed seeing his dad or your mom before. It hadn't been there. You nodded and explained what you experienced. You retold a similar tale of being ditched earlier on. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Let me check my phone. Maybe someone tried to get in touch about whatever this is. Cove rearranged the bags he was carrying. That's why you get a cart, those rolling carts, so you can put it in. Freeing a hand so he could pull out his phone, you watched his eyes dart over the screen as you read the waiting messages. Not important. I can reply to that later. He mumbled the verdict under his breath. He wondered if uttering it out loud helped him remember, or wherever these messages would slip his mind, like checking his phone as done. Then Cove's face scrunched up with confusion. Wait, I got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cause I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on until I left with Destiny's mom. Where are you? He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come on. He sent another one. Then he hopes that I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. The newest one says everyone's going to the parking lot too, and then we can meet up there. He lowered his phone, eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed as Cove as well. So it was on purpose. The crowd of people passing by stayed as noisy as ever. The sharp contrast to the silence had fallen over you and Cove. He was rubbing the screen off his phone with his shirt, wiping dust and debris. He continued scrubbing the screen as long as he could have remained. The action of the poor substitute pushing away the awkwardness for a moment. You're struggling to comprehend this. Some of your parents' actions made more sense, but with this context, but the bigger question, that why is weighing you down. Okay then. You alright? His voice was gentle. Yeah, really. That's good. Abandoning us without warning wasn't a cool idea, even if they meant well, which they probably did. He looked at you straight in the eyes. Not making a big deal out of this is nice. I'm not exactly thrilled, personally, so if you want to complain to me, you can. Don't say that. Why are you saying you can kind of be annoying to me? Maybe I am kind of mad. Cause not as he was expecting it all along. I didn't want things to be like this, but they didn't even talk about it. I didn't get the chance to say anything. Cove listened and nodded gently as you unburdened yourself. Then you drew a deep breath, and fresh air started, and you didn't stop until your lungs were full. Cove watched over you, still concerned. Cove closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His brows creased, his eyebrows furrowed deeply into a scowl, his arms tightly coiling together. So they did do something stupid. I knew it. His voice taking on an exaggerated quality, but truly distinguished from Cove's typical speaking tone. What the abundance of rage. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do they have to go places with family members anyway? I hate them. Got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with a bowl haircut has been in town, but Cove has never forgotten. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Sometimes you wonder if the act was growing more exaggerated over the years, or this kid was always that ridiculous. That kid's never gonna last. Not ever. Go give you a lopsided smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on, we should probably meet up with the group. Yeah. You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd, making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. It's now evening. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden and Liz, were already waiting there. They waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in pretty good mood In contrast to Mr. Holden, who stared at Cove with open concern as she got closer. Hey, bud. Hey, Destiny. How you doing? We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in a farmer's market by their family. You saw your mom's frown at his response, Ma glancing from Cove to Mom with blinking eyes. Just because Destiny is laid back doesn't mean you can just leave her out of your plans. Expect her to go with it every time. Ma hung her head ashamed and Mom had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell they were quickly regretting their scheme. I'm so sorry, Destiny. Her words were full of emotion. Ma squeezed Mom's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. Mom nodded. We didn't think you and Cove wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day, especially not in the summer. But you're always thoughtful and you don't like to leave your moms behind, so we did ourselves. It was only going to be for the market and not other stops, I promise. Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call. I'm really sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you. Okay, no break. We should have known better. Sorry. Might ditch me too after pulling her urgent potty breaks done, if that helps. I went off to do my own shopping as it seemed they planned. So I didn't check back with you. I wasn't thinking. I just tried to blow it off. You hardly took in their story of what happened over to the side. Cole was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up, though I felt bad for missing the warning you sent. New trivia sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden laughing and clapped Cove on the back. Well, we're really being outplayed today. You realize you hadn't been the only onlookers to the Holden's movement. Your mom were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently waiting for it all to unfold. This looks like it. We better find some way to catch up. Maybe we can do Destiny's chores for the next week. Mom jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something, Destiny. How do you like the sound of that? They looked at you hopefully. Let's see what they have. Sounds good to me. Two. You're gonna have to do more than that. I think about it. You don't have to do anything. That's good to me. Good, we're serious. And at the very least, we can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today. It's evening. Not at all the suggestion. We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays. We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled and moved uplifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It was really stupid. Like, okay, they should have done that, but it sounds like me. They were just like, trying to match us up. It was going to be all right. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for one final glance, pressing it into your memory under the new light. Okay. You thought on what you picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from a local supplier like this. This was another perk about coming to the market today. Actually, you realized this would be a good time To bring out the fight, you got to share. I wanted everything, but they were like, nope. Well, everyone was clustered together. Hey, wait, before we go, I got something for everyone. The announcement grabbed everyone's interest, and they looked over at you, curious about what you had in store. You dug in your hand into a bag and pulled out a specially selected treat. I saw this amazing fudge stall, so I got a box for us to share. Ooh! Oh, that's so sweet of you. The Holdens were wearing a matched grins at the prospect of free dessert. Their family members' resemblance were more noticeable as they mirrored each other's expression. Sweetie, the right word for this. Thank you so much, Justin. Yeah, thank you. Great, can't wait to bust it open. We should save it tonight. You can't properly enjoy a treat when there's still chores to be done. Besides, we don't want to make a mess with it melting in this heat. The others murmured in agreement and nodded, reaching a contours. You stowed the box away for safety. Let's clap our hands together with the air of a teacher calling for attention. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack. Time to get back on schedule and continue the rest of the errand. Playtime is officially over. Ma laughed as Mr. Holden grinned. Awkwardly, Mom hugged her head, an exaggeration display of mock defeat. The kids are tough, and I can't even call them kids anymore. Liz with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. You laughed, glad that everyone was getting along. That's right, we're all grown. Oh wait, that's right, we're all grown-ups now. Ugh. Hi, baby. Yeah. You're trying to get coffee, baby. With that, the trip up to your farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had to round up in Mr. Holden's car the way over. You figured it makes sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You took the front seat, let's say, so we don't. Yes! You took the front seat again. After buckling in, Cove leaned back in his seat, letting himself be cushioned by the headrest. Once he shifted a little, he appeared to have found the perfect angle for maximum comfort. He gazed out the window, looking suitably content with the world. You followed suit, hunkering down in your seat and looking out of the window as the car pulled away from the lot. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. You're glad to close that day with everyone. Ma had been true to her words and assured that you spent the rest of the time with the Haas family and the Holdens family in one place. It had been a wonderful time and a lovely high note to end on. Drive. Like a lazy cat, you stretched your arm out above your head at the ocean. Or the tree. I think that's a tree, and that part of the ocean. Above your head and your arm, blinking your eyes sleepily. The day was warm and pleasant. You were lounging on the couch in the living room, finding it difficult to do much at that moment. Your moms and Liz had gone out shopping, looking for some new items for your sister to take back and decorate her college dorm with. They had asked you if you wanted to go with them, but you declined. For you, today was all about relaxation. You propped your feet up on the back of the couch and stuffed a comfy cushion beneath your head, settling in for the nice long afternoon nap until you were interrupted by a delicate knocking on the door. You hadn't been expecting anyone to stop by, and your family would never knock before entering their own house. Before you had a chance to think about it, whoever was at the door knocked again. With a groan, you roused yourself from the couch. Dragging your feet all the way, you headed... Sorry, Cat was trying to climb on something. Over to the door and pulled it open. It's a neighbor. Oh, no, it's Cove. That was my first suggestion. Anyways, Cove was standing on the doorstep, his lips pulled into an awkward smile at the sight of you. You ran a hand over your hair, knowing it was probably disheveled, looking from your attempted nap. Hey, need anything? Cove looked away quickly, his eyebrows crinkled, as though he might have regret coming over here at all. Hey, Destiny. Hi, Destiny. I was wondering if you might want to help me out with something. Okay, I'm listening. You looked at him expectantly, and he let out a breath of relief, shuffling awkward on the spot. Thanks, I'll just explain it then. The nod you indicated for him to go ahead. You seemed more nervous than usual, and you began to worry what he could possibly want. He took in another breath, gathering his nerves. The thing is, I need to drive out to my mom's place in Nevada, and there's some stuff I'll have to pick up since I'm not really going to be staying with her like I used to. I flew there last time. Wait, are we not on an island? I thought we were on an island. I flew there last time, and every time that I gone there, I couldn't bring much back with me. I'll be taking a 2-day trip, and I'm gonna drive all the way there in one go. Stay the night, pack up, and leave the next morning. You paused for a moment, screening your face for any signs of reaction. Okay, what do you want me to water your plants, feed the fish, or something? Hesitant, his eyes dropping to the ground. No, my dad takes care of that. I was actually wondering if you might want to come with me. Your eyebrows shot up in disbelief. A small surprise sounded slip past your lip. It was definitely not what you had expected him to ask. Cove cut in to explain further before you had a chance to reply. It'd be a 10 to 12 hour drive one way. I'd never driven that long before, my parents, but also me. I think it'd be better if there was someone with me for safety and everything. His lips turned into a tight smile as he scratched his face uncomfortably. You couldn't help to feel a little bad for him. He was pretty embarrassed having to ask all that. Cove sighed and watched you silently commiserate before rambling on. I could have asked Terry, but she gets car sick on a long drive. If you came, we could go whenever you're free, and I could pay you for it if that helps. Maybe we could even stop somewhere interesting along the way, make it a real trip instead of a chore. He stopped talking completely, rubbed his arm awkwardly, and determined not to meet your eyes. You finally put yourself together to think about his proposal. Okay. I'll pay for the food and gas stops. Mom will feed us when we're there, and I can pay you 60 or something. Alright then, I'll have to let my mom know as long as I don't have anything else going on the days we pick. There's no reason why I can't go. Thanks, Destiny. I really appreciate it. He gave you a small smile, which you found yourself returning, thinking the trip might not be so bad after all. You spent some time together going over your schedules and making plans for when you could take this trip. You needed to fit it around both of your work schedule, which took a bit of doing, but it came together in the end. Luckily, it was only a 2-day trip, so finding a couple free days in a row wasn't impossible. It wasn't long before the dates were finally set and all the plans were made. You were nervous. You couldn't exactly pinpoint why, but it was a big trip and you and Cole would be together for a long time. No matter what you thought about things, the morning when you were due to leave arrived. It was cooler than usual, the sun barely peeking over the top of the houses. You stood outside your house on the footpath near the end of the road waiting for Cove. You yawned loudly, covering your mouth with the back of your hand. Morning was always a struggle. With your travel bag clutched in one hand, you watched as Cove finished packing up his car. He had organized all sorts of things, water bottles, snacks, and who knows what else. Cove insisted that he had everything in control and didn't need help. At least you could rest easy knowing that it was all taken care of. As you waited, you glanced over Cove's car. You knew it well. It used to belong to Mr. Holden, and when Cove learned how to drive, it passed on to him, his dad taking the opportunity to get a newer one. It was pretty old at this point, but it served both of them well so far. You just hope it had enough left in it to survive the trip, as long as when you were in parking lot, don't jinx it. The slam of the door closing made you jump. You snapped back to focus and you saw Cove was walking towards you. He dusted his hand off his pants and tilted his head towards the car. That's it, ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready. He smiled. Aren't they gonna give us like goodbyes and all that? You stepped aside. You were giving you space to situate your own bag where you wanted. Once everything was safely inside, he glanced back at you. We should get started. It's gonna be a ways to go. Okay. The two of you climbed into the car, buckled up, Cove and the driver's seat, and you sitting shotgun. His eyes moved to you. Thanks again for coming on this trip to me. Of course, it's no problem. After checking the mirrors, starting up the engine, you pulled out of the driveway and began your trip. Because I haven't done that in a while, but okay. You got yourself cozy in the sink, watched the familiar houses in your neighborhood pass by. Cove reached over to the radio and crackle of static mixed with a snippet of the songs filled the car as he flipped through the station. Mr. Holden was good in good condition, but it was well older. There was no way to plug in the phone to play music, so the radio had to do. Eventually, he settled on the classic rock station before sitting back. He settled on classic rock before sitting back, resting both of his hands on the wheel. Is this okay? I had it off. No? You nodded. You smiled, happy with the reaction. Time flew by, and with it, the scenery outside your window became more unfamiliar. It was a little uncomfortable being in the car with Cole for so long. The two of you were always pretty distant. Eventually, Cole broke the silence, clearing his throat softly before he spoke. It's been too long since you and I had spent time with my mom. I know she still comes to the neighborhood sometimes, but it's not even once a year. I'm always going to hers. I'm looking forward to getting there. Your elbows resting on the windowsill, you gazed out at the world that was slowly coming to life as the morning rolled on by. The sun climbed higher than the sky. Luckily, the sunbeams weren't going right into your eye. Hey, do you mind reaching back for me? Cole gave you a sidelong glance as he drove, indicating with a nod and a tiny smile. I want some chips. Salt and vinegar ones. You didn't have a comment on the selection. I think they're great, but we're in character. Stretching back out the seatbelt to give yourself some space, you twisted your body to reach the bag holding the snacks. It took a bit of effort, though, through the collection of goodies stuffed inside, but eventually the bag of chips crinkled beneath your fingers as you pulled them out. You sat back in your seat. Here. Thanks. Do you mind opening it? His eyes lit up the prospect of the snack. You shook your head in amusement, popping the bag. Pop! Reporter Cove had his one outstretched hand, trying to resist the urge to look at what he was getting. You did your best to had the chips fall into his palm, but some did end up on the floor. Thanks. After you rolled up the top of your bag and stowed the chips safely in the back again. When you turned to the front, it was to find Cove crushing a fistful of the chips into his mouth, crunching loudly. He wiped his hand on his pants absent-mindedly before gripping the wheel. The spill crumbs all over the place. You had no reaction to that. The hours drifted much the same way as that, with the two of you snacking and chatting as the day stretched on. It was fairly calm and quiet traveling along the road, and you found little in way of interruption. At one point, you passed a "Welcome to Nevada" sign, and Cove gave a tiny cheer. He was in disbelief that the two of you were serious all the way to another state. Eventually, you had to stop for gas, make a detour at a small diner, grab the proper meal that didn't consist of chips and candy. After refueling both of the cars in your stomach, the drive was back on just as the sun began to dip beneath the horizon, bathing the sky in a wash of orange light. Cove informed you that they weren't much longer left to go. You were almost there. You took shifts. The route was fairly straightforward, and you had enough practice driving to feel comfortable doing so. The night eventually fell in a blanket of darkness. The drive finally came to an end. Cole pulled into the parking lot of Kyra's apartment building, the glow of the car light disappearing as he turned off the engine and let out a heavy sigh. We made it, we're here. The two of you exchanged tire smiles, having successfully and safely completed the one-half trip. You were relieved to have actually arrived and eager to get out of the car. You took the stairs up to the building. After a knock, you were abruptly met by a flash of green hair as Kyra opened the door. Is she old now? And immediately took her son in her arms. Oh, look at her hair! No wrinkles at all. There he is. There he is, my giant baby boy. He squeezed him for a moment, then pulled back so she could examine his face. Are you even taller than the last time I saw you? Cove gave her a fond look as she patted the top of his shoulder proudly. You say that every time I'm here. It doesn't make sense right now. My last visit wasn't long ago. Kyra simply laughed before letting him go fully, ushering the two of you into her apartment. Then she turned to you, a wide grin at her lips. Destiny, it's so nice to see you came along. As a bonus, you both arrived in one piece. I like a tattoo. I didn't know what that was first. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. Kyra beamed at you both while you would have loved nothing more to do than settle down and rest after a long drive. You could see she wasn't going to let you go that easily. So how was the trip? I admittedly was just a pinch worried. That Cobb answered it. It was fine, no problems for us. Kyra clapped her hands together, the bracelet around her wrist jingling. I'm so proud. I can hardly believe how mature both of you are. Where did those smarts come from? Cove ran ahead over his head with an awkward chuckle. I don't know. Maybe I got them from my parents. His mom looked up at him deeply, her eyes glistening as she shook the sentiment off with a wave of her hand. You have to be half asleep already, huh? I don't want to keep you up much longer. Early morning, any hoosies? How do you want to deal with a sleeping arrangement? I only got my own room in Cove, though living room couch isn't that bad. You keep your bed, Mom. Destiny can use mine and I'll sleep on the couch or the floor, whatever's easiest. It doesn't matter for one night. Thanks for letting me have the bed. Cove offered a smile. No problem. So would you be okay with me sleeping on the floor in the room? I'd rather be there than out in the open in the living room, even if there was a couch. Yeah, you sleep there. Kyra laughed out loud, startling you both. You raised an eyebrow at her outburst, giving her a quizzical look. I wonder why he had to say it like that. I hope you'll survive the night. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Oh, shit. Horror. Scariness. Cove smiled slightly, shook his head at her in amusement. Kyra clasped her hands together, her bracelets softly tinkling against each other. It's only getting later. I better let you prepare for bed. She nodded towards the hallway and gave you a small smile. I'll play hostess for a second and show you where the bathroom is first. Destiny and blah blah blah. Thank you. You hoisted your travel bag back over your shoulders and followed behind Kyra down the hall. Cove shuffled along with you, disappearing into the bedroom while his mom had you go to the restroom. The apartment was small, but nicely decorated in a soft, cool colors with plenty of artwork hanging on the walls to give it character. It was stylish and exactly what you would have expected from someone like Kyra. After being shown the bathroom and wishing Kyra good night, you headed into the room. You found Cove already there. He changed into a sleepwear in the night as well and set aside his glasses already. Looking at you, you found the bedroom to look much more the same from the rest of the apartment, but small ocean elements. You were sure Cove must have enjoyed when he was staying here. And all the room was pretty nice and clean. It thought almost looked like more of a hotel guest room than a bedroom. Cove only spent a few weeks out of the year there, so it made sense that it wasn't especially lived in. What do you think? It's pretty nice, huh? Mom always keeps it clean and everything, even if I'm not here. That's sweet of her. Yeah, she's good like that. He seems pleased enough with the response and give you a small smile before opening the zip of his bag. When you went back to the room, you jumped in bed under the covers just as Cove was shuffling into his sleeping bag on the floor. You waited until he was settled before you flipped off the light. A soft glow from outside peeked over the blinds, casting a shadow over the floor. You closed your eyes, blocking everything out. Night, Destiny. Night, Cove. Sleep well. The room grew quiet as the two of you wound down for the night, and you found yourself listening to the sound of the city outside the window. The noise was so different to what you were used to back home. Cars zooming past and the people having fun instead of crashing waves, and the oceans cocooning your house with their embrace. Cove shifted around in his sleeping bag, making the fabric crinkle loudly. I've outgrown this thing. I should have checked it earlier, but the trip was kind of short notice. You sure you don't want the bed? I don't mind trading places. No, it's alright. It's more important that you're comfortable. You're already doing me a big favor by coming here in the first place. Just let me do this one thing and give you the bed. That's what I want for this trip, okay? Pushing your lips tight, you gave a small nod and knitted a feet. Alright, I'll have the bed. Thanks, Cove. Why don't you have, like, blankets or something? Like a futon. She knew you were coming. Get out like a air mattress. He made a small noise, but said no more. With the stuff inside, you pulled over the covers over your chin and got comfortable. Next morning. What the fuck? Okay. The next day dawned, bringing it with the sound of the birds chirping happily outside. We're gonna leave it there. And we are going to save. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go do exclamation point Discord into my Twitch. Exclamation point DISCORD for my Discord, and exclamation point INFO for my other links. And yeah, we'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Bye.